All right.
Nope.
We're here.
I don't hear music. I'm dancing to no music.
There is music going.
Yeah, we need headphones.
We actually do probably need
Doing that, I
headphones.
feel like I'm a manager in baseball calling for instant replay.
Well, welcome to Two Hats and Chat, where Jerry and I talk about all things tech hacks and cyber attacks here at Wills Community College.
And farming.
In the stomach.
No, I think that picture looked like the heart.
Oh, you do?
Did you not see that picture from Dr. Kilby?
I did see it.
I think she made a good argument that we are the heart. I think she did.
I thought it was a little lower than center.
I don't think it's quite stomach, though.
Yeah.
So heartburn.
Heartburn.
We are the heartburn of Wilkes County. Maybe not.
Still good, though. I mean, close to the heart.
At least Wilkes knows we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
So that counts.
Yeah. So how's things, Jerry?
Things are good. I noticed on the news yesterday or the day before that there's a big jalapeno recall for salmonella.
Oh, is there?
Do you have salmonella on your jalapenos?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I don't know how I would.
So you're safe. Okay, you're good. You're good.
And I actually have two little fruits.
Fruits?
I think jalapenos are fruits, right?
Why? No, I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of a fruit, I guess.
I mean, last week I tried to say trees are annual, so I mean, I don't even know what trees are apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's yeah, I don't know. Fruit.
Are they
vegetable?
not annual?
They're trees. I don't think trees can be.
They're just they're just here all the time.
Yeah, this is kind of where we left off with the coconuts and palm trees. Yeah, okay, I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, I got two little peppers growing on it.
Without the salmonella.
Probably without salmonella.
Okay, so Randall Farms has not been recalled.
Unless I don't know what causes salmonella, maybe chickens.
That's all I know, yeah.
Then, yeah, probably none.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good update.
Yeah.
Randall Farms is safe.
It's kind of bad, though, at the same time, depending on who recalled those jalapenos.
I think it was in Minnesota mainly, and it was impacting restaurant chains.
Oh, okay.
And I think the FDA had released a batch number, but it wasn't publicly released.
Mm.
And it was like, hey, this batch from this distribution is contaminated. So then a bunch of other restaurants were like, oh, we have that batch. So there was a recall on that.
Okay.
That's kind of as far as I went because it wasn't a cyber attack.
Well, it's good to know because my wife bought me these. She was on vacation, and she bought me it's called pirate candy. It's a play on cowboy candy, which is candied jalapenos.
Yeah.
And this is like candied jalapenos with a little bit of honey or something, and they're delicious.
Nice.
So I really hope that. I mean, it's from a farmer's market, so it's
probably safe. Yeah.
Probably doesn't.
Well,
have,
I think you'd be sick by now.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're good.
Because I've had a ton of them.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, they're really good. So.
Oh, I got another thing before we get too much further.
Yeah.
For the I don't know, the three of you who might actually have noticed. So my son commented, I don't know, a couple episodes ago. He was like, hey, you wear a different hat every episode. And I was like, really? It was unintentional. So I was unintentionally wearing a different hat every episode. And I'm kind of pointing this out because I see that you're wearing a different hat.
Right, yeah. I just got a new one and I liked it, so I wanted to wear it.
Well, I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's like you almost need to show the camera so that they understand that it says good on it. I mean, it's good. So as I say that, some of you might be scrolling back through and say, oh, well, Jerry ruined a streak. No, actually, I didn't. This is the Tigers hat I wore last time. This was the postseason 2024. This is just a Tigers hat. And as far as Tigers hats, I have about 5 more to go. So I've got a ways to go. Eventually, we're going to get to the sombreros and the Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah, the record is still clean. For you.
I still. So this morning, I actually went down through our channel and I wrote down the hats.
Right.
So I've got a running list. So for those of you keeping score, I am too. I'm with you. I think we're probably good for till the spring at least.
And I think I was telling you like last week or something that our combination of hats has still been different. So kind of like how a 2D array works, where any sort of grid system works, where you have a column and a row.
Yep, we're still good.
If I wear the Wilkes Community College hat, for every hat you wear,
or a good hat,
so the combination is still different.
Yep, still different combo.
And we have a multiple of combination of hats then. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's even a math thing that we could do. We could get on the whiteboard. We could teach you guys some math on how to figure out how many possible combinations we have.
Yeah.
It's actually a useful thing in security. If I have a 4-digit PIN, how many possible combinations are there? Therefore, how long would it theoretically take to crack it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, we turned this into technology and cybersecurity.
Woo, yeah.
Go hats.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of technology, what's with those zeros and ones?
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what you got up there.
So that right there, if you're unaware, is binary. And those are actually 4 bytes. A byte is 8 bits. Okay.
What's a bit?
So a bit is a 0 or a 1, right? So... And that's why computers are called binary digital computing is because binary is for 2. Bi means 2. So there's two possible numbers, 0 and a 1, right? So even though the number 2 doesn't show up in binary, we can still represent 2 numbers because 0 is a number and 1 is a number.
Is 0 a number?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a whole math. We need to get my son up here and have him be a guest, and he'll just fill the board with,
Until he convinces me otherwise, yes.
Yeah, I avoid too much math conversations with him because he does convince me of weird stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, definitely. Well, if you look at the board, definitely those combination of what I believe to be numbers is in itself a whole number. So the 0 is helping it to be a number, even if the 0 itself.
So you said each one of those numbers, is a bit.
Each 0 or 1 is a bit. Yeah.
And you said 8 of those,
and then 8 of
bits
those
is a byte.
Is
that going
left to right?
What's this called? Horizontal, or is that vertical?
It's horizontal.
Oh,
so
it goes horizontal.
Left to right. It's like reading a page.
So do you have to have a space between them?
You don't, but I like to put them in 4s, so quartets.
So that kind of makes me wonder, if you break them up like that, what is 4 of those digits called?
So 4 of those digits together, I think it's called a quartet, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, you can call it a quartet.
What is it, Jerry? You tell me.
Why, you think I'm asking because I know?
I don't know.
It's actually one of my favorite things, oddly enough. So you have a bit, then you have a byte for 8 bits. But if you only have 4 bits, you have a nibble.
Oh, a nibble. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know why that is. To me, that's just like, oh, dude, that's so funny.
A nibble.
And then I'm like, this is why CS people don't go out in public often.
Now I can. I have heard that.
Yeah,
I remember it called that, but I just. Man,
no, you don't use it.
Name.
It's not relevant.
I don't use nibble, but I will now.
I mean, we don't have 4.
I'm never calling it
4 KNs. 4 kilonibbles.
Yeah,
we have 4 KBs, 4 kilobytes, but or 4K little b's bits.
Yeah.
Or if we're talking about our transfer speeds, we have giga big B's or giga little B's,
and some people, when they get an internet speed from an ISP or internet service provider, they're like, "Oh, it's 1 gigabyte." It's like, "Oh, actually." It's 1 gigabit.
Yeah.
So it's 8 times
it's a little B
than what you think.
What you think it is.
Yeah. Whereas your storage, so like where you're storing things on your computer, it's in bytes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kind of bytes. We can get back into that. And then the internet speed is in bits.
Which is... I'll just go ahead and say it, which is interesting, and that's where I wanted hey, let's start talking about serialization, and I was like, let's not, because you and I are about to go. We're gonna go find the weeds, and we're just gonna jump in, and the velociraptors are gonna eat us, and we're just gonna. This is fun.
Yeah, and I actually really love bitwise operation and figuring out the conversion of decimal to bits. But the cool thing about a nibble is that it can directly translate into hexadecimal.
Oh, what's hexadecimal?
So hexadecimal is otherwise known as base 16. So instead of using normal counting, base 10
normal counting, human counting
is 0 through 9. So those are the digits.
I count 1 through 10.
Yeah, well,
that's how I count.
I know.
So it's not 0 through 9; it's 1 through 10.
But 10 is actually a 1 and a 0.
What? No,
Yeah,
it's not. It's a 10.
It's a 1 in the tens place and a 0 in the ones place. So the digits are actually 1 and a 0.
Okay, I remember doing that in like elementary school.
Yeah.
All right.
And hexadecimal.
And then I had to carry the 1. I remember that now.
Yeah. You carry one after you get to 9.
So a 10 is 0, 1. So 0 might be a number.
Yeah. 0, I believe, is a number.
Until we get my son here.
It's definitely a digit.
He was working. Yeah, he'll convince me of stuff, and then he'll say, "Yeah, I made all that up. That's wrong." What?
To be fair, the number just 0, is it a number? I think so, but the digit 0 is definitely a digit.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from the whole quest for 0 because that was a huge mathematical breakthrough, and honestly, I'm really rusty.
I would
on
love
that,
to hear
so
about it, though.
I'm gonna have to like really brush up on it because I don't remember it well enough. But
do you think he'd come down and teach us all about it?
He probably would. I mean, he and my other son, the librarian. I say librarian. And I don't mean it in like this mocking
librarian
thing. I actually mean it more in the sense of like the TV show The Librarian. He's went into library science because he's a great researcher and great organizer. And I'm like, here's an Indiana Jones hat for you.
Yeah.
Which we actually got him when he was a kid when we went to MGM way back. So we'll have the oldest will give us a good lecture on like 0.
Yeah.
Or we can even go into like the quest for infinity. That's a whole other interesting thing.
The opposite end.
Yeah, which
almost.
Oh,
I guess not.
I've had weird conversations with him about that.
It's in the middle,
because his PhD was in a kind of the theoretical mathematics, and as a computer scientist, I'm the applied mathematics. So like I always say that I work with the math that's real, and he says that's because you're boring, and I say. Okay.
It's fair, I guess.
I mean, fair. Yeah, you win. Yeah. What am I going to do? So you have bytes up there. Oh, speaking of storage. Yeah. And actually, you didn't finish what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be a random train of thought today.
No, that's good.
Hopefully, you remember to come back to what you're doing. Speaking of storage, we were talking before we went live about YouTube. And my wife and I, we watch a bunch of, we'll just put YouTube on, right?
Right.
And just... because we don't have any streaming services. Well, we have Netflix and Amazon Prime. But there's been, if you watch YouTube, there's been a new thing being advertised, and maybe it's only on my channel. I don't know. Not my channel, my account. But you can get like a 32 terabyte storage thing. And the whole ad is, hey, due to what's going on in the Middle East, we're not able to distribute this to our customers. So we're getting rid of the middleman. We're just going straight out. You can, boom, here it is. It's a little, I don't know, maybe about this big.
Right.
USB 3, I believe, were the connections on it. Solid state, 32 terabytes.
Terabytes.
For $45. And now, I don't mean to be advertising for them, but.
That's huge.
Dude. Or, because I actually did the QR code and went to the site, and it might not even be a legitimate site.
It seems kind of
it seems kind of shady. So but I was looking at it, and it was like $45 for a 32 terabyte thing. Or my favorite thing, I love to do this in class, if you do your assignment now, but wait, there's more. You can get 2 of them for $55.
Oh.
Now, everybody's going to go find this ad. They're going to order, find out it's a scam, and I'm going to get blamed for it. That wasn't the point of this story.
Yeah.
The point of this was that storage is actually something that is affordable. So as far as, we've talked in the past about, localized AI, localized media servers, localized photo servers, so that you can keep your stuff not on, local cloud instead of... And with network storage is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to this. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really awesome to know, though. I actually am curious if I don't see ads because I have ad blocker.
I've set it up and then I take it off because I get kind of, it feels weird not having the ads. But I grew up in the old era of TV. I need the ads so that I can go get something to drink.
I was actually thinking about that the other day, where I was like, there used to be a lot of cool commercials when I was growing up, and
yeah,
and now I probably haven't really watched an advertisement for something in
a long time.
A long time, and especially not on TV. I don't even have cable or anything like that anymore. But so coming down the stack, we just stacked up.
Pop that one off.
Hexadecimal.
Pop that off the stack and let's go to the next one.
So hexadecimal is base 16, which means that it uses 16 digits for numbers, right? So it does 0 through 9, and then it starts trickling into the alphabet. So A through F, where A is 10, B is 11, all the way to F, which is 15.
Look at that blue one.
Oh, yeah.
128.
What is that for? A network? Like
that is for Scammers United. I don't know what that's for.
What on earth could you put that in?
Okay, I'm back.
But yeah, hexadecimal. 16,
Hex, yeah.
16 digits.
See, there's another tangent. I'm ready to go on.
And a nibble can directly translate into hexadecimal. So if you can determine what that nibble is on the left, like the top left nibble there, then that number is a direct correlation to its value in hexadecimal.
5.
Yeah, 5. So it's 5 in hexadecimal.
Okay.
It turns out that it's also just that nibble is 5 in decimal as well. But just that nibble. But the whole number in hexadecimal is actually 5-4. Whereas the whole number in decimal is a little bigger, like the whole byte.
Yeah, 5-4 for the second.
A little bigger, right? Yeah. So then if you convert from hexadecimal 5-4 into decimal, it'll be the same value as if you were to convert from binary straight to decimal.
Right. And also, as you're kind of doing that, and this is where we're really doing our audience members who don't know what we're talking about a huge disservice by not putting anything on the board. But by those first 4 in that nibble can go from 0 to 255.
The nibble can't.
No, the nibble goes to 15. Sorry,
but the byte.
The bytes goes up to 255. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, goes up to 255. I was one step ahead of me. Yeah. But when you take the hexadecimal, the 5-4, one mistake students make is they think because 1 hex goes from 0 to 15, so then 2 would go from 0 to 31. It's like, no. It goes from 0 to 255 because it's now a byte.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said, I was one step ahead of where I was trying to go with that. So, yeah, you really have to realize that each hex digit becomes a nibble.
Yeah.
And
it kind of becomes, when I'm teaching it in class, it becomes a little philosophical because I'm like, the name of this number is still 10, but depending on the base, we determine the value. So something's name isn't necessarily its value, like we've grown up to believe that 111 is, 111. Well, not always. If it's in base 2, 111 is actually 7.
Or if it's in base 27, who knows what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But the name of the number didn't change. Right, so it's it's hard for them to grasp a little bit of the time.
That's an interesting thing in sci-fi. It comes up a lot when you're dealing with like alien species. One of the things sci-fi writers like to do is have the aliens use a different base numbering system. Yeah, I think they did it in Project Hail Mary with Rocky. If you've not seen Project Hail Mary, I didn't just ruin anything. It's okay.
Man!
And they do it in other ones as well. And a lot of times it's based upon the number of digits. Digit. Mm-hmm. Imagine that the entity has. We have 10 digits.
All right, yeah.
Is that why we're base 10? I don't know. Probably. Because so like if you take something that has 6 digits, they're probably going to be a base 6.
That makes sense.
Entity thing.
Yeah. That's actually cool. I didn't thought about that.
Yeah, sci-fi writers do that a lot.
That's really neat.
It was kind of like my first exposure to, because I knew binary,
Yeah.
and I knew hex and octal and decimal. And I was like, that's it. There's no more. And then I was reading a sci-fi story, and I forget what it was, but like that species was like a base 19 or something. It's like, what?
19 fingers, digits, I guess, not fingers.
I think they might have had multiple appendages or
maybe legs.
Yeah.
So like
I don't remember the
would do
details.
base
I just
8.
remember the base 19 kind of stuck out. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
That is interesting.
Why would you do that?
And then, and here's the other thing too, is the symbols you use to represent that digit don't always have to be numbers either. So it can make it really interesting.
Yeah, especially if you're in computers, you can have something called an ASCII chart.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. So I'm curious.
Like a 64.
If someone figured out.
You got a 54 up there, right?
Yeah. If someone. Oh, hold on.
Well,
I was gonna say if.
Well, this is the next step with a byte. This actually is the next step with a byte.
I'm wondering if people can, I don't know, look at an ASCII chart and then figure out the hexadecimal values of those numbers, and then they might discover that there could be a hidden message up there.
There might be.
Maybe.
So, should I actually say what this is?
I don't know. Maybe I think we've given them enough breadcrumbs to.
Wait, that's not 54. The hexadecimal is 54.
Yeah. Yeah. The decimal value would be.
Is going to be
84, right?
No, it should be higher than that because we got a byte. So goes.
Is it 5? It's 5 times 16. That'd be 80, and then 4. I think it's 84, right?
I don't think so. Is it? See, you're making me question my own sanity at this point. So
maybe not.
5, 4,
I'll let you discover it.
Hexadecimal. I spelled hexadecimal wrong. Imagine that.
Now we're just noodling.
This isn't 5-4 in hexadecimal. My phone is confused.
Am I wrong? I think that's 5-4.
I mean, it should be.
That's 5-4.
That's a 5, and that's a 4.
Yeah.
Google, you are lying to me.
Uh-oh. It's hallucinating, Jerry.
Oh, no, never mind. That says the number 5-4. It doesn't say hexadecimal.
Yeah. The chart that I may have used to write those numbers was in both decimal and hexadecimal. And I just used the hexadecimal half, I think. I hope.
No, you're right. Well, yeah, you're right. That is going to be 5-4. But I don't think. Let's go 5-4.
So it's 5. I guess 5-4 in hexadecimal to decimal.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Is that not 84?
It is 84. It just. Oh, I'm stupid. Shocking, right?
No. Well, no.
No. So here's what happened to my little brain. Because I came in completely unprepared for this. I did the same thing I always do with whether it's a nibble or byte. I do the nibble if I have a 1000, that's 16. Woohoo!
Yeah.
And
15.
Unfortunately, it takes my students like 10 minutes before they're like, "How come it's not 15?" I'm like, I don't know.
Well, 1000 is 8.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. But I will say it's 16.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right? Because I'm like, it's full.
Yeah.
So therefore, and it's not full. 11111. Right. But that last digit, I'm like, oh, that's the 16 column. So I have 1 there. So it's a 16.
Mm-hmm. It's
like, no, the 16 columns is the next one over. The first one in your next nibble. So it's 15. So my point here is that if I have 8, I'm like, oh, so that first one is 256.
oh,
and it's like, no, it's not. It's 128.
Yeah.
Which makes the next one 64.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
If I start at 64, it works, but I was starting at 128.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, the first one is 256. Next one's 120. There's no way that's 84, Randall. It's 128 plus some other things.
Yeah.
And no, it's 64 plus some other things.
Yeah.
I'm banned from teaching binary, aren't I?
It would actually be 64 plus 16. That's 80 on the left side. Plus 4. Yeah, 84.
It's exactly
yeah
what you said. Although you were prepared for this.
Well, I didn't know. So I will say to our viewers that are curious, there may be a hidden message on the board today, and if you want to figure it out, convert these numbers to these 4 numbers with these 8 bits or not 8 bits, sorry, 4 bytes, 4 sets of 8 bits. Those are all aligned with something that you can look up called an ASCII chart, which is just characters. So,
I know what it is.
So if you're curious, just figure that out. It's pretty cool. But the reason I wrote it on the board is because last night I was looking for cool articles on what we could look at.
Okay.
And I discovered last week.
Okay. I got you. I just had to verify one more.
Yeah. So I think I got it right too. So
I didn't do all of them.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Well, I'll have to go back and do it. But anyways, so last week apparently what happened on Thursday, I believe, is there was this website. I think it's a website or it's a company called. Oh no, I forgot the name of the company, but they make something. Oh, I think it's called Cold Kite. If I'm getting it wrong, correct me, please. But they make something called a cold card. And do you know what a hardware wallet is? Right, Jerry?
Yeah.
So I didn't really know what it is. I had to look up and make sure I knew what it was because apparently what a hardware
I feel like
wallet.
You need one more up there though.
One more?
I do. You need another one between number 3 and number 4.
Oh, okay.
I think that one might be a 64 in decimal.
Oh, okay.
Or is it a 62?
We'll have to figure it out. Anyways, back to what I was saying. We're gonna get too distracted in here. All right, so what a hardware wallet is? This one is called a cold card, and it's specifically for Bitcoin.
Okay.
Now, I didn't realize kind of what this hardware wallet is, but what it is essentially it's an air-gapped device that generates numbers and passphrases. Did I do something wrong?
So, just to show you how wonked my brain is, that letter that I said needs to be between the 3 and the 4 is 61 in hexadecimal.
Yeah.
So, like, I kind of knew the hexadecimal value. It's a 6 and a 1 in hexadecimal. It's a 97 in actual decimal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, why did
that isn't 6-1.
No, neither one. No, that's what you need between a 3 and a 4. Between letters 3 and letter 4.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, 4. Okay. Wow.
Before the last one, you need
you
need a hexadecimal 6-1.
Well, we'll let them decide when they figure it out what they think. Should we add in the 61?
Oh, they're just going to team with you. Just they're just going to say Jerry's stupid.
I did the big words and maybe a symbol.
Well, I guess. Yeah. I know. Yeah, but you need that one though.
I didn't mean for it to be.
You need that one. Just because it's a little word doesn't mean it doesn't count. Yeah. Little words are words too.
It's true.
Yeah.
Little words are words too.
Yeah. Poor word. I mean, imagine not using that word at all today.
It'd be hard, actually.
I'm good so far.
It would be hard. It'd be really hard. All right. If you know, you know. I'm glad this needs to just happen all the time. This part needs to happen. Okay. Back to the story. Back to the article. This happened, Jerry. People lost money, okay? This is serious.
I don't doubt it.
So,
they probably bought storage from YouTube.
A hardware wallet. All right. This one was called Cold Card. It's from a company called Cold Kite, I think.
Okay.
That might get a little weird because you guys might have noticed that sometimes I get a little dyslexic a little bit when I'm reading stuff. But so what this thing is it's a device that is supposed to essentially generate a wallet address for you using randomization. Now, we know that if you have a device generating a random number, that it is something called pseudo random. And we can go into the craziness of that, where technically almost all randomness is pseudo random, almost. And I think that if we were to look at individual cases, like even just a dice roll is kind of pseudo random depending on the dice you use.
Okay.
Right?
Depending on the dice.
So, but here's what happened. So this hardware wallet is supposed to make some randomness and a string of random things. Let's just say for now it's numbers. And then they convert this number into using maybe some of your information that you give the device a wallet for you, a unique Bitcoin wallet.
Okay.
All right. So that's essentially what the hardware wallet does. It doesn't actually hold anything in it. It doesn't actually hold the Bitcoin. It's just an address generator. Okay?
Okay.
So here's what happened though. Is in 2021, so 5 years ago, they moved away from using an open source way of generating this randomness to using a proprietary version. Now, in their proprietary version, there was a fairly secure way to generate a random sequence, or what they call entropy. Right? Am I getting this wrong, Jerry? And then
I'm thinking second law of thermodynamics.
Yeah. But there's a fallback. So if the actual good way to generate a random sequence doesn't work or goes into an error, it falls back on a set of Python library code that is technically deterministic. Here comes the big one.
I mean, I kind of already see where we're going with this.
All of them within a certain version that were released were all throwing an error with the proper way to generate the random sequence, the more secure way to generate a random sequence, and falling back to the deterministic way. So what happened was, and we don't know quite how it happened yet, we don't know what tools were involved in figuring this out, but somebody or some group figured out that they somehow, we don't know using what, it may have been with an LLM or something that they have. Either way, they figured out how to reverse engineer the deterministic randomness that your wallet generated to find Bitcoin addresses. And then using that, it's also your password for that wallet is what is used to generate that address.
Right.
So since they know that chunk, that deterministic chunk of whatever the math is to figure out the wallet address, they also figured out your password.
Right.
And then let's just say last Thursday in a 10-minute sequence, they stole $30 million.
I'm actually surprised it's that low.
So they stole $30 million in the first 10 minutes, and I think 2 or 3 days later, they had enough wallet and password combinations and stole $88 million from 1,400 users with this cold card generator. And holy cow, it has been a wild ride for Cold Kite, I think is the company name.
I mean, I looked up Cold Card. I didn't look up who manufactured it.
So yeah, the Cold Card, and I was just shocked. That's why I put our little bits up there today, is because it kind of got a little further. I went down the rabbit hole a little bit last night and discovered some things that I think are awesome.
Right.
So there's something, and Jerry knows this, called salting that you can do whenever you create some sort of password. Right?
I put salt on my mac and cheese.
So salt on your mac and cheese, yeah. So
and my steak.
You can kind of think as your steak and mac and cheese as a password. And then when you add salt to it, it becomes a more complex password because you added some salt. Now the salt, there are little grains of salt. There's variants when it falls on the macaroni and cheese, and there's variants when it falls on the steak, and it salts it. It spices up a little bit for our palate. But also, if it were a password, it would be hard to determine, right?
It should be.
So there was a couple of ways of people that are protected. So if you right now have a cold card and haven't heard about this, for one, maybe move your Bitcoin if you have any. Because if you have a cold card, the only coin you can have with that wallet is a Bitcoin. So.
Yeah, I just saw that, yeah.
But there is some hope if you did a couple of things. One, there's something called a BIP39 that is a really cool thing that I looked up last night. Now, I don't quite remember what the acronyms BIP stand for. I know that the B stands for Bitcoin, but I don't remember what the I and P stand for. Let me digress, though. I also don't know where the number 39 comes from because this is some cool math, and we'll get into it.
I bet it's not Internet Protocol.
So, yeah, it's probably not. You can look it up. But
I will look it up for you.
Here's the cool thing, though, Jerry.
I got you covered.
So this is what it does. This is really neat. So what it is when you're starting out to create this BIP39 sequence. Now, what it ends up being, just so we're kind of going to get to somewhere, is it ends up being 24 unique words, 24 words all next to each other to come up with this phrase, this BIP39 phrase, okay? So it's 24 of these words all next to each other. And how you get there, though, is really, really neat. And people are going to see me nerd out for a little bit. So here's what you do. You get 256 zeros or ones. Okay, so essentially you're flipping a coin. Even this is done digitally, so
so I need 256 bits.
Bits, exactly. Okay. So we're flipping a coin. Let's say heads is 1 and tails is 0. So imagine flipping a coin 256 times and writing down 1 or 0 in a sequence of 256. That's 256 bits. Now, the numbers you can represent with 256 bits is 2 to the 256. That's how many numbers you can represent.
For the record, for those of you who might be kind of wondering about some stuff earlier, how did we know that a nibble, 4 bits, can hold 0 to 15? Well, 2 to the 4th is 16. You start counting at 0, 15. How do we know that a byte, can hold 0 to 255? 2 to the 8th power is 256, so 0. Exactly. So... and that ties into our combinations that we were talking about with the hats before.
Yeah.
There's math that you can actually determine this stuff. And if you're old or quasi-old like I am, you might remember when there was 8-bit color and 16-bit color. What did that mean? 2 to the 8th power, there were 256 colors.
Yeah.
There were 2 to the 16th power, there were 32,000 colors.
65,000.
Is it 65,000?
Yeah.
It shows how good I am at this. And then you have the 32-bit and the 64-bit. So you heard this in the gaming community, when went to original 8-bit gaming, and then you had the 16-bit and 32-bit, which was not so much. Yeah, Nintendo didn't do the 32-bit, I believe. I believe Sega was the only one with the Sega 32X, I think it was. Yeah. But everybody else, it was like 16-bit, 64.
Yeah, if anybody has any of those Sega consoles and you don't want them either, just let me know. Either way.
So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there because you might be thinking, 2 to the 256, why did he just do that? Why did he think to put those two numbers together? So the first number, the 2, is how many options you have. You have 0 or 1. 2 options.
2 options.
The power, the exponential thing, I forget what that's called up there mathematically.
The power.
I think there's a cooler word for it, but we'll call it power. I don't know. Is how many times do you choose? 256. So
exactly.
2 to the 256, that's how many possible combinations there are in a 256.
Which is huge. Because, I mean, think about it. Think about it like this, okay? if 2 to the 10 is 1,024, 2 to the 11 is 2,048. So we've only gone 1 up on the exponent, but we've doubled the magnitude by doing that. Is that not correct phrasing? Is we've gone up a magnitude is what I should say, right?
I mean, that's fine, yeah. We've doubled the amount of things that we can.
So 2 to the 256 is the possible numbers that you can generate with that, which is
large.
So big. I wish I had that many pennies in my bank account. If I had that many pennies in real life, I would smother to death because there's no space. You don't have enough copper in the universe.
Probably not
to do that many. Anyways, so they generate this thing, which is awesome. That's a sick number. I mean, who knows what the number is? Who knows what the value is?
Okay, I feel so obligated now. All right, but we will know what the number is. Oh, by the way, it is Bitcoin Improvement Proposal 39.
Improvement Proposal 39.
That means they had 38 others.
So it's like WD-40 is like the water displacement of the 40th kind.
Yeah.
So because 39 didn't quite work.
Yeah.
So that's what the first thing you do when you're doing. Now let me reiterate. We're getting to where we're going to end is a phrase of 24 words all stacked to each other. Okay, so keep that in mind. So we get this number that can be anywhere from 0 to 2 to the 256 power, which is a number I probably can't even.
1.157 times 10 to the 77th power.
Whoa!
Got to do some more stuff there.
That's a lot.
Or for those of you who might, want some PTSD from your high school era, 1.57 E plus 77.
Yeah.
If you remember those.
Yeah. So that's a huge number. Let's just say that if Jerry and I were to generate that, I
want to know what it's going to do if I do 10 to the 77th.
They're probably going to be different. Would you not say, Jerry? If we just,
I would hope so.
Yeah, that's like you have a 1 and 2 to the 256 or 1.7 something, 1.1 something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
times 10 to the 77.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Chance.
So 10 to the 77th is 1 times 10 to the 77th.
Yeah, Jerry.
Thank you, Google. I did not know that. My world is so different now. 10 to the 77th is 1 times 10. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
What was I thinking?
1 times 10 to the 77. Could you believe that? Anyways.
Uh-oh.
So
it's my turn with
first
try.
You actually got it. That's good.
That's 15 years of baseball right there.
Incredible. The skill there, too. That was pretty good.
I'm old.
That was nice.
I had a Mr. Miyagi moment.
But if you did a Mr. Miyagi, wouldn't it still be alive? You caught the fly and kept it alive.
Yeah, except Mr. Miyagi didn't catch the fly.
And also, we didn't want the gnat to live, so you solved the problem, Jerry.
Let me have my Miyagi moment.
Okay. All right. So
I got a story with this.
So Bitcoin Improvement Proposal 39, BIP 39. Okay. Was first step. Generate this 256-bit number. Okay? And that's just us. Imagine flipping a coin, like I said. Heads is 1, tails is 0. If you want to do that.
And do it 10 to the 77th time.
Well, no, you only do it 256 times, but the number you get can be converted into a number within that range. So.
Yeah, it'd be like that, fine.
All right. So we have this cool number, and it's way longer than that. I don't even know if I could fit 256 bits on the board.
Oh, yeah, you could.
I could probably fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd probably have to get rid of
it would take a long time, though. I don't want to do that.
Just make them all 0.
But here's the other thing.
Ones would be quick.
So step 2. So we've generated this thing. We got 1, 1, 1, 1, whatever. Okay, so step 2. Now we're going to make something called a checksum. So we're going to take that number that we just generated, and we're going to do some fancy math to it, and we're going to hash it. So imagine just doing some math, so our own version of some algorithm.
We should use a SHA-256, which I'll let everybody guess what 256 is for.
Yeah, we'll do a SHA-256 on it. Either way, we're going to actually whittle it down to an 8-bit number, though, that checksum down to an 8-bit number, and then we're going to stick it to the end of the 256-bit number. So now we have 8 more bits. So 8 plus 256 is 264. Okay, so now we have we just generated a 256-bit number. We just generated a checksum from that 256-bit number. We turned that checksum into an 8-bit number and then stuck it on the end of the original 256-bit number.
Okay.
264-bit number. Okay.
Sure.
I'm already excited.
Obviously.
Here's the next part. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chop up that 264-bit number into 24 11-bit chunks.
Does that work out? I assume it does.
It does.
So 24 times 11 equals
24 times 10
264.
is 240 plus 24 is 264.
Generally.
Yeah.
Or unless you have a PhD in theoretical math.
And then maybe
makes
not.
it, yeah, who knows what it equals.
It's not. It wouldn't be real then, so not useful.
No. He doesn't like real numbers.
All right. So we're going to chop it into chunks. So 11-bit chunks can range from the values 0 to 2047. Right. So 2 to the 11 is 2048. And we just talked about that a little bit ago. So
yeah, okay.
feel free to rewind. Okay. So now here's the cool part.
Oh, it's not cool yet?
Now that's really cool. But now
So now just wait, I can get 2 of them, right?
We're getting to the end. We're getting to the phrase, the 24-word phrase.
Okay.
Now we've got 24 11-bit numbers.
Okay.
Okay. So now we have a list of 2,048 words. Now these words are kind of unique in the fact that the first 4 letters of these words don't share any of the first 4 letters with any other word on the list.
Okay.
Okay. So you wouldn't have something like built and build. They wouldn't work together. You would have to be completely separate words.
Okay.
Also, I think words like that are tossed out. So it's even more unique set of words. Now, these words we could probably find out there because maybe we couldn't find it out there.
So to actually answer that question, I'll answer that question. Google just died on me. Let's see. So if you're wondering how would Jerry possibly answer this question, I'm just going to Google BIP39 word list, and there is one.
Okay, great. So
we can dictionary attack.
You could do all this by hand now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So we can now dictionary attack with the word list.
Right. Exactly. So now that we have those words,
okay,
it's 2,048 of them, and we have 24 11-bit chunks, and those 11 bits can range from the values 0 to 2047. So now we're going to take that word list and we're going to range them we're going to number them 0 to 2047.
Okay.
And then for each chunk that we have, we're going to go select a word.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put them on a line together. So we end up with this 24 word phrase. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now what they recommend doing with this BIP39 is that you then write this phrase down. Yes, it could be very long.
Yeah.
But it is some way that you actually can you can audit yourself by using it.
And it's one of those that would be safe to write down.
Yeah.
Because to most people, it's just a list of random words.
Random words. Even to yourself, it's a list of random words.
So they wouldn't look at it and be like, oh, hey, that's their salts for their Bitcoin wallet. Most people would not.
And feel free to make a crazy cipher and salt it even further to be like, oh, here's a cipher I made.
So that way the word list doesn't work.
The word list is also scrambled and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So going back to the cold card thing, apparently that was a recommended salt to add to whatever it does.
Okay.
So you add in that 24-word phrase as well to salt it. But then another salting, which I thought was also super cool, not as complex, and no, you aren't doing it. You aren't generating that yourself. I'm sure there's a BIP39 generator out there that you could just
I'm
use.
sure there is, yeah.
But this one actually is something that you would have to do by hand.
Okay.
And I think it's really neat. So what you do is you take a 6-sided dice and you roll it 50 times.
That's better than 256.
And you write those numbers down in sequence.
Yeah.
And then you add that. Now, what that has introduced is an even more amount of randomness to it. So you could have both. You could have bit 39 and the 50-digit 1 through 6, base 6 number to use.
Interesting.
So it's pretty cool. And you could actually, if you wanted to, do both of those handwritten, which would be really fun to figure out.
Right.
So I just thought that was really neat that you could do that. Now the problem is that still there's 1,400 victims of this attack and they lost $88 million. But silver lining, I did learn about BIP 39, which I think is really neat.
I mean, there is so much stuff to tag on this. My first thought when you mentioned proprietary, I'm wondering proprietary as in who wrote it. And I'm starting to think supply chain problems. And so I'm starting to think, did a bad entity write this proprietary thing so that this error being kicked out wasn't accidental? It's like, how did they know? We wrote the code.
That's possible.
It wouldn't be the first time that bad actors got into the actual back-end development process for supply chain. So that's an interesting idea. But the other thing that really I found interesting was your whole conversation. I was going to say monologue, but I'm like, no, you're not the bad guy.
I was monologuing. I was nerding out with numbers. This guy was
your whole thing about this pseudo-random, I think that's such a fascinating concept that I think a lot of people don't quite understand. But like the way that a computer generally generates a random number is it has a seed that comes from maybe the CPU or whatever.
Exactly.
Like the CPU time. Epoch, a lot of times it'll be Linux, Unix epoch time.
Yes.
And so this seed, if I know the seed, I am going to get the same sequence of random numbers every single time.
Yes.
So if it's 2, 10, 19, 3, 4 with the seed of phone.
Yes.
And then I know your seed, I'm going to get those same numbers every single time.
Exactly.
And there's two interesting points about that. One, which is probably only interesting to me, but when I was in grad school, the research I was doing on my whatever it was called when I was in grad school, the word just went away, but whatever it was called, on AI, particularly believability of AI, I was comparing a genetic algorithm with a finite state machine with just true random. And this was a long time ago. But in order to use the true random, what we're calling true random, we had to run it through to verify that, hey, even though we know that this is truly pseudo-random, are we getting an actual even distribution? So if I run my random number generator for 100 million, which I did, it was in stacks of a whole bunch, and chart it,
would it be considered
am I getting a true random distribution?
Yeah.
Or am I getting a bell curve?
Yeah.
If I'm getting a bell curve, then there's certain numbers that are preferred.
It should be a line, like a horizontal
line. It should be a line.
It's
right? Like, you should, with minor variation.
Yeah.
Like your 256 coin flips, you should be right around 128, 128.
Yeah.
It might be 120, 140.
Yeah.
Or 138, 130. No, I'm sorry. I'm not mathing well today. You've got all the math brain today. Because some of those pseudo number generators are actually more bell curvy. They do have a favorite. So we had to verify that my random that I was going to be using for this comparison was random enough,
right?
Even though it's pseudo. So that's an interesting concept, because when we hear pseudo, a lot of people are like, oh, that means it's not random. It's like, no, it is random.
It is random.
It just means I can predict. If I have your seed, I know what numbers they're going to be.
Yes.
And it also means that depending on how you're using the seed, that you might be bell curving, and we're going to say that's not really random.
Yeah.
That you have favorites.
That means that's deterministic.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what people did to figure out, like, oh, okay, so this wallet, okay, I just did this Python deterministic way of randomizing.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like when I do this weird math to it, it points me to this wallet. oh, I wonder if I reverse engineer this part, if that would give me the password. Oh, it did. Now I've just discovered that I can do this. Let's go find people using this code card at this version and see how much money we can take in 3 days.
This was a structured attack.
Yeah.
So either the bad actors wrote or were involved in the proprietary code, or they were targeting that and were trying to stumble across because they kind of knew how it was generated.
Yes.
And they targeted it and ended up finding accidentally this deterministic sequence, which and either one could happen.
It could be either. And see, the device, like what Jerry was saying, as far as like getting the timing of a CPU, these devices are that's their job. They're supposed to have something in them that helps that device determine a truly random value.
Supposed to, yeah.
Supposed to. Yeah. Now, that means that if I had a cold card and you had a cold card, the number it generated should be different. Especially with whatever extra information we salted with.
Yeah.
It should be totally different.
Should be. But if it fell back to a deterministic one, then I can determine it.
Exactly. If it fell back, if that part threw an error and didn't work, and it fell back to the deterministic version, you can figure it out.
And I think that's also a point that I think it's lost as far as the way Hollywood represents the bad guys or hacking in general. It's like, oh, they just knew to sit down and go, blah, 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 and boom. It's like, no, a lot of it is actually luck.
Yeah.
Is just trying stuff, and holy cow, that worked.
Yeah.
I can remember there were things that I would do, and it'd be like, that worked? Huh, okay, that worked. Yay, go me.
Yeah.
And like, think about the 2 attacks we talked over the last 2 episodes. They tried the help desk. And there were some high fives going on with, that worked.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean,
so we can do it again.
It's a certain degree of luck. It's a certain degree of trial and error. You have certain techniques that you try, but you don't know if they're going to work. The other thing I wanted to tag on with what you were talking about, bitwise operators. You kind of like just let that one slide under the hood there. But they are enormously beneficial. Doing bitwise operations in general, or because without them, networking doesn't function.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how your subnet mask is going to be compared to your destination IP to determine, is it on this network? Is it on a different network? Yeah. Where do I need to send it? Yeah. That stuff.
Yeah, bits are really cool. It matters for now until we get into quantum computing and they use qubits.
Quantum computing is going to break everything.
Yeah.
And that's another thing where our current cryptography, whatever you're using, unless you're in the government, they might have some other stuff, but our current cryptography is insta-broke as soon as quantum comes online.
Yeah.
And this is something that I think everybody needs to kind of start thinking about. I don't know how relevant it's really going to be to the average home user, but there's a lot of nation state and other organized bad actors, not Jimmy in the basement, but really organized bad actors that are gathering terabytes of data.
Yep.
That is hashed.
Yeah.
Which you just talked about hashing. So it is hashed, and they're storing it. They're storing it until quantum comes online, then they're going to feed it to the quantum, and then they're going to be able to backtrack.
Maybe they bought the $45.
I bet they bought 2 of them for $55. I really do.
Yeah, but they're just storing that.
They're just storing it.
They're getting the checksum.
Yeah.
From and who knows? It might be a mod 5, which is a type of hash.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a SHA-256, anything like that. Now, hopefully, that's kind of scary. But hopefully, by the time quantum computing becomes commercial, almost, where people have access to it, hopefully there will be people that already devised better encryption for things, though existing encrypted things still a target.
There's just going to be a whole slew of problems. So like one of which is generally when we think of hashes, passwords.
Yeah.
Passwords are generally stored as hashes. So even if, so I'm going to be able to crack all these passwords. Let's say it's 10 years from now. Maybe 90% of those people have changed their password or have left the company or retired. But there's 10% that are still using the same password. And let's face it, that's kind of a real thing.
Yeah.
And 10% might be too high. I'm just spitballing numbers here. So even if I now, as the IT person, I change from that hash to a quantum proof hash, if that guy's using the same password, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't matter how I'm storing it if the bad actors know the password. And another thing to consider on that whole thing is it might be 10 years before it's commercially viable. How long before it's nation state viable?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the big...
How long are we looking at before, Russia, Iran, China, North Korea, United States, Israel, and these are just like first players that kind of pop into my mind on the cyber side. How long before they have quantum in their arsenal?
Yep.
If it's 10 years before it's commercial, then it's maybe 1 year before the nation states have it?
Yeah, I think so.
Or maybe 5 years or whatever, but...
Yeah, and it's kind of scary because a couple years ago, I think it was a couple years ago, Google had their like super crazy chip thing. Do you remember reading about that?
Yes, I do.
And I don't quite remember the details, so you probably have to help me out.
But I don't remember the details, but I do remember hearing about it.
But I remember that they had it running for about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They receive a phone call.
Yeah. Someone
says, turn that off.
Yeah. Yeah. It
wasn't quite quantum. It was more like a supercomputer, right? Or am I wrong?
So this is where it gets fuzzy for me. 20 years ago, I was really big on like following quantum and all that. I'm nearing the twilight of my career. I'm no longer interested in following it because I realize that it's probably not going to be a factor for me. I'm going to be like easing out as it's coming on. So, but
you've got another good 10 years out of me, guys.
But I'm thinking from what I've read in the past is that quantum is kind of being virtualized. So it is quantum, but it's running on these like supercomputer arrangements.
Okay.
That was my understanding, but that understanding is like 6-7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I am by far not an expert.
Yeah.
I understand the idea behind it, but I've not really kept up with what they're doing.
And we all like to fall back on things we're comfortable with. So if you guys are familiar with IPv4 addresses, right, we still use them internally, like on the private side of your network.
They're still used externally.
IPv4 is really good. It's only 32 bits and super easy to figure out. And yes, they're still used externally too. IPv6 exists now, which is a 128-bit, 128, right?
Yeah.
128-bit address.
Mm-hmm.
And just to allow more public addresses, everybody's device has their own IPv6 address because there's so many of them. Speaking of which, that's 2 to the 128. Whereas earlier we were talking about a 2 to the 256, which is double.
Yeah, double
the overall magnitude, I guess.
And you're mentioning IPv4, so once again, a throwback to us old people. Not us as in you, because you're not old, but a throwback to we old people. 2 to the 32 is 4 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Yeah, ballpark. And 2 to the 32nd, do it. So there's 32 bits in IPv4 address, so it's 2 to the 32nd. So there can be 4 billion unique IPv4 addresses. Yes. Of those, there's 3 that are set aside as private.
Exactly.
So that allows us to reuse that reshare that you were talking about. But the other thing that IPv4 is relevant to me, particularly 32-bit. For those of you who are older who might remember, there was a time in the 2000s when we were running 32-bit processors, and there was this: should I go to a 64-bit CPU? And at that time, this baffled me because lots of things baffle me. But you could, if you had a 32-bit processor, you could have 4 billion unique memory addresses. So that is going to be your RAM, your VRAM, because this is the time that GPUs are starting to ship with VRAM at this point in time.
Yeah.
3D gaming is starting to explode. So it was very common. You could get a laptop or whatever with shared VRAM. It'd be like 4 gigs, shared 2 gigs with the video card. And people are like, oh, I got a 2 gig video card with 4 gigs of RAM. I'm like, no, you don't. And then there was a big trend, scam trend, if I can say it that way, that if you buy our piece of software, we will get you past this 32-bit thing by our software will allow you to access more memory.
Oh, no.
And a lot of people bought it. It's like, woo, it's like...
Download more RAM.
Yeah. This is also the time where the idea of being able to use a USB stick, you could use it as memory, as RAM.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll just leave it there. But for me, it was this really frustrating thing because I would have people would be like, oh, so what do you think about if I get this piece of software? It's going to get me past the... And it's like, no, it's math.
Yeah.
This is mathematics. You
can only have this
You don't get to be like, oh, I'm going to ignore math. It's like, okay. I mean, math isn't going to ignore you.
You're going to get scammed then.
It's still a thing. So that really led this huge charge to 64-bit, which we needed to do anyway. But once again, the gaming industry. Yeah. As games were needing really more stuff, the gaming industry just kind of keeps pushing things.
Yeah, it is awesome. But the reason I mention that is because, so we have this IPv6, we still use IPv4 internally just because we're comfortable with it, it's easier to use, and we understand it a little, I would say I understand it a little better than IPv6, at least when it comes to subnetting and all that. But to digress a little bit, the qubit is what a quantum computer uses. Now, quantum meaning it's going to essentially say this bit can be in many states, right? So right now a bit is in state 0 or 1, whereas Correct. A qubit could be in a lot of different states, but they may, I would think in my mind for now, just to help us transition to understanding a qubit a little better, we might use normal bits as like that cross between figure it out.
The virtualization kind. That's another thing about going to quantum is understanding that all of our current software has to be rewritten because it's binary. Now that's kind of like as we've gone to 64-bit, and nowadays modern CPUs are all 64-bit essentially. If you're running a older 32-bit program, it is emulated by your operating system.
Yeah.
Because,
And how many states, I guess in my mind I would be curious, how many states does a qubit have? And when I've looked it up in the past, it's been strange because imagine us, instead of saying it's a 0 or 1, we're saying it's any decimal between a 0 and a 1. And my math theorists are saying, well, that's infinite. That's technically infinite, right? If
I do applied math.
So imagine it being like 0.00001, and then the next number is 0.02. You know, all that. Like that's how a qubit is essentially going to be able to work. Is it's not, you can't even think of it as binary because it's more or less like the Schrodinger's cat situation where it's like it may or may not even exist. So there could be in the future, like I don't know how many years from now, because we know how technology
Moore's law.
Yeah. There could be a 64 qubit. There could be what I'm saying is there's hope for us to have another N64.
A roundabout way to get to that. Yeah. So a qubit, it gets interesting, But technically, a qubit can be a 0 or 1. The thing about a qubit in quantum is that once you measure it, it's either 0 or 1. It's either, and you brought up Schrodinger's cat. The cat is either alive or dead. And if you're not familiar with Schrodinger's cat, Schrodinger, I'm like, am I going to turn this into a quantum thing? So quantum mechanics is being, I guess I am. So quantum is coming along in the 1920s, and Einstein had done his relativity work, first the special and then generalized. And as quantum's coming along, there's this fellow named Heisenberg. And he had the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. And the idea behind the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, without going into the math of it, is that until you measure something, you actually don't know. You can, when you're dealing with a particle, particularly, because you know quantum. So quantum is really, really small.
Yep.
Quantum leap, really, really small. So you're dealing with a particle. So where is an electron as it's rotating an atom or the nucleus, or where is an atom? Where are these things? Atom might be too big for quantum. Sorry? No, actually, Neil Bohr's... sorry. I'm about to geek out on a completely different thing. But so if you want to know where the atom is, you have to observe it. Now, or the particle, the electron. But in order to see an electron, you're going to have to hit it with a photon, because that's how we see. Right. You know, photons are the particle of light. Yeah. So in order to see it, we're going to have to hit it with something. Well, if we hit it with something, we just moved it.
Exactly.
Now, it's not like the macro universe where I can hit your shoulder and you're going to be like, dude, why did you do that? You know, in this quantum world, if I hit your shoulder, you just went flying down into the river down there.
Exactly.
You know, you're not where I thought you were anymore. So I can either know where you are, or I can know your velocity, but not where you are.
Not where I was.
So
before you
so if I measure it, then there's other things. Anyway, so that's Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, that you can only know a certain thing with certainty, but you can't know everything about a quantum thing. So with the qubit, once we measure it, it's either 0 or 1.
0 or 1. Yeah.
But before we measure it, it can be in an infinite number of what quantum mechanics called superposition states.
Yes, yeah.
So it can be your infinite number.
Exactly,
it can be anywhere. It's like, well, what is this qubit? I don't know.
And technically, you could think that since it could be anywhere, it could also be nowhere.
I mean,
which is weird to think about, but I mean, it all comes back to zeros and ones, though, which is pretty neat.
It kind of does in a weird way, yeah. So yeah, that superposition. That's why I went on the tangent. So Schrodinger, he's an interesting person. He was interesting, and not really in a good way. But he thought Heisenberg's uncertainty principle was just silly. And he thought this whole idea was just silly. It's like, of course we're going to measure things. He's like, can you imagine if I put a cat and a radioactive thing in a box and closed it? Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is saying that this cat is in the state of both alive and dead because we haven't observed it, so therefore it's in every state it can be in.
Yeah.
And Schrodinger was like, that's obviously silly. It is either dead or alive. It can't be both. So that became the famous paradox.
Yeah.
But as the scientists have done more research, it's less of a paradox in the quantum world.
Right.
Those electrons...
You still have to view it.
You know, when I went through chemistry, and I don't know if you took chemistry or not, but when I went through chemistry, you had the atom, and then you had the first layer, which had 2 electrons, then you had 8 in the next, and then you could have 8 in the next.
Yeah.
They now know that that's not really entirely correct, that it's a cloud, because they're just...
wow, okay.
Where are they? They're they're everywhere. They're everywhere all the time. I forget the name of the title of that movie, which was an awesome movie. Everywhere, every time.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yes, that one. Great movie. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Go watch it. Great movie.
Yeah.
I need to put that on my jellyfin. Okay, sidetrack. Sorry. So yeah, my point was that as the knowledge has improved, basically Schrodinger's cat is a really cool example that everybody's familiar with. But the quantum physicists are saying, well, yeah, but he was using a cat, and quantum mechanics doesn't apply to a cat.
Yeah.
What it applies to, it actually works.
And also, he kind of proved to himself that you still have to observe it to determine its state.
Yeah, because maybe it hasn't died yet.
Exactly.
But his argument was, no, I put enough stuff in there that I guarantee you it died. Are you sure about that?
How do you know? You have to view it. And it also has a time element to it, just like your CPU when it's determining those zeros and ones.
Yeah.
There's a timing involved with voltage and so on and so forth, right?
And I'm sure it's been 25 years since I took quantum mechanics, so I'm sure somebody is going to be like, Jerry, you're a moron. You got like all of that wrong. Yeah, I think my quantum class, I took it early 2000s, so it's been a while.
I had never been in a quantum mechanics class or anything, but I know that I would enjoy it. I mean, I would probably do terribly, but just learning stuff like that is awesome.
Heavily relies on differential equations. Same with Einstein stuff. And the class I did on Einstein stuff was also just absolutely fascinating. Time dilation and all the Lorentz transforms and the other things involved as far as you're moving, how does... Yeah, and
how light affects and things like that. I've loved. I used to watch a YouTube channel where he would talk about like, well, let's say that we can't go the speed of light, but let's say that we were approaching it, and it's like, what would you see? Which is an interesting thing, because depending on your perspective of the object that's approaching the speed of light, what does it look like?
Right.
From some angles, you might not be able to even see it with your human eyes, whereas in some other angles, it could look like a insane oblong spaghettified thing. So it's also interesting where not only are you observing it, but where are you observing it from? What's your perspective on this thing? And then, which is cool.
Yeah, it's and the whole idea of like the time stuff with Einstein that. It's largely been proven experimentally true. Not that we've gotten near the speed of light, but through other experiments, it's been proven true. And there's a famous experiment, I believe, in 1919. I forget the name of it, which really horribly disappoints me, but it was one of the key ones in proving his special theory of relativity. And what they did was they had issues because World War I was going on. But after World War I, they were able to get to Egypt where a solar eclipse was happening, and they would be able to look at stars, and then as the solar eclipse happened, they could see how the stars, they knew where the stars should be because where the sun is, but the star would be in a slightly different position because its light was being bent by the gravity well of the sun.
That's cool.
Which was predicted from special relativity.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time where I was going to go, I was going to do my graduate work in physics, and I was going to teach physics somewhere.
That's awesome. I mean,
but also, now you're stuck with me here.
Well, it's also one of those things where it's like, you don't really think about it, but what you're seeing when it comes to looking in space, it might have been a star that you see might have been gone years and years.
Yeah, 10, I mean, it takes a long time to get here.
The light you're seeing is just how it has had to travel to you. So that's part of the theory of relativity is like, what you're seeing might not be what is in that location.
Oh, so, yeah, it's changed. My favorite star is actually Betelgeuse, which there's a lot of stuff there, but one of the most influential books I read when I was a kid, which is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Ford Prefect I thought he was the coolest thing ever. So my handle back then was Ford Prefect, and the BBS I ran was Betelgeuse. That's what I called it. But if you're into astronomy, you might be aware that Betelgeuse, which is the red star in the Orion constellation, is nearing supernova. Now that means it should happen sometime between now and 10,000 years from now. So don't go get a lawn chair and sit outside tonight.
Yeah.
But the thing is that actually means that it could have already happened.
Exactly, yeah.
And we just haven't seen it yet.
Exactly.
And it's like,
which
that's
means
so awesome.
Which means maybe you should get a lawn chair and go sit outside tonight.
If Beetlejuice, if the light from the supernova event of Beetlejuice reaches us, in your lifetime or whatever, it will be bright enough to see in the day, because the star is that close to us, and it's going to be that big of a supernova event, which it's like, that's so cool. I mean, it's bad for the Ford Prefect race that lives on, I think, the 5th planet that orbited Beetlejuice. They're dead once it goes supernova. I'm sorry, but that's okay because they have the towels and they hitchhiked out of there, so they're good.
Yeah.
But or the Vogon constructor fleet got them. And if all of these references are, everybody's like, what are you going on about? It's called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Read the books. The movie from 2001 or whatever, don't. Read the books. Yeah, just go read the books.
It was Jules Verne, right?
Douglas Adams.
Douglas Adams. Jules Verne did
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah.
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah.
Some others, yeah. It was Douglas Adams.
Douglas Adams. I don't know why I was saying Jules. I was saying Jules Verne because in Back to the Future,
yeah.
Doc Brown, and then when he goes back in time to like
1880, yeah.
The woman he meets, she also is a fan of Jules Verne, and it's just. Sorry, I was.
yeah.
Oh man.
Time travel.
Yeah, time
makes
travel
it go.
stuff.
Speaking of time travel, my wife and I recently watched a series on Netflix called The Way Home. That was a Hallmark series, and we're waiting for season 4 to come out on Netflix. Cool show.
What's it about?
Time travel?
Time travel.
Yeah. So because you have to have a device. You have to have a Deus Ex device for your time travel to work, right?
Yeah.
DeLoreans work sometimes. In this case, it's a pond. Because, ponds are creepy.
That pond through time.
I mean, who? Yeah, my wife said, or like the blue hole, which was dealing with slavery. But so there's this small town in Canada, and this one family. They've been there forever. But if you're a member of that family and you jump into the pond will take you where you need to be. So it's called The Way Home because it's all about healing this family's issues. And season 2 was kind of Season 1 was awesome. Season 3 was almost as awesome. So really cool. I don't want to like any spoilers,
me of like
but
a TARDIS style thing because I remember I hadn't got to watch like the older Doctor Who's as much as I'd like to because I prefer that style. But in the newer ones, I seem to remember them talking about like kind of like the TARDIS drives itself almost,
right,
and decides when the Doctor needs to be somewhere.
Yeah. The newer ones, they kind of made it clear in like Eccleston and early with David Tennant that it's like, they don't actually control the TARDIS.
It just flies.
It's like,
or well, technically space is moving around it.
But now they've kind of brought it back with the new guy Shooty and the lady, I forget her name, but they had more control over it. But originally, we're going boop boop boop.
Well, he was
boop.
pulling
That's where
levers.
We're going.
So he's doing something.
He's doing something, but I think during David Tennant's era, I think they transitioned to actually he can control it now.
Yeah.
But part of the premise of The Way Home is kind of similar to Back to the Future, which Back to the Future's huge premise was imagine if you could go back to when your parents were teenagers.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are like, ooh, that's creepy, weird. But as you start getting older, you're like, I do wonder what my parents were like as teenagers.
Yeah.
And then Back to the Future also explored the weird concept of dating your mother, which, weird concept there. But in The Way Home, they're also doing that, but it's more from the perspective of imagine if you were friends with your parents. So like in season 1, there's a daughter who becomes best friends with her mother when her mother was her age.
Interesting.
And it kind of exploring this idea that whether you're in the 90s or the 70s or the 1800s or the 2020s, teenagers deal with the same things.
Similar stuff. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, it wasn't like that in my day. So, well, maybe I didn't have cell phones, but I dealt with the same things.
Yeah.
So you could probably actually connect.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you were a real jerk, in which case your kids probably can't connect with you because you're a real jerk.
Yeah, but no one could. So.
Yeah, I mean that's, anyway.
So that's kind of an interesting concept because that family home must have been made when that pond existed and people were traveling back, so they could build a house then, and then that's just kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
But it
just in case anybody watches the show.
But it does kind of, because there's a lot of with time and quantum and all this stuff. Like as a kid, I had the hardest time describing time travel stuff to like any teacher I ever had, because I didn't have the right words to say it, because I was like, well, I was trying to describe a paradox.
Oh yeah,
because I'm like, well, if I'm here, if time is a line and I'm here on the graph, and I go back here, okay.
But is time linear?
That's the thing. In Back to the Future, we assume that it is linear there because what they do in the past changes their future, but in other movies
I believe that's called a paradox.
Yeah, because the paradox is that there's a version of Marty McFly out there who's younger than the version of Marty McFly that went back in time, that they always have to go back in time to solve that problem in order for the current timeline to exist. Otherwise,
the way home explores that idea of whatever happened is always going to happen.
Yeah.
And you could also just say, time's just wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm assuming they also treat time as linear in the show too then, right?
Instead of linear, I would prefer to say causal.
Okay, yeah.
Which
causal,
everybody else is going to say, Jerry, that's linear. I'd just prefer to say cause effect.
Yeah, and then with the like Marvel movies that are coming out, their version is not linear, but it's the many worlds theory.
It's parallel universes, many worlds.
It's like if you ever go back in time, you essentially have split. You've cut the timeline into two lines, right? Based on whatever you change, every change you change.
Well, I believe the whole parallel universe idea is that anytime you're faced with a decision, the universe
branches.
Forks.
Yes.
Because I could have picked up my phone. Bye, Jerry.
Yeah.
Let me know what was on the phone.
Exactly.
But in this universe, I didn't.
Yeah.
But in that universe, I did pick up the phone to see what it was just buzzing about.
Exactly.
So that Jerry knows things that I don't.
So it's almost like instead of traveling somewhere, some time in time, you're traveling to another parallel time to see what would have happened if a decision was made.
That's one of the things.
But in Back to the Future, it's definitely causal or...
Holy cow. We're doing another hour-and-a-half episode?
Oh, what time is it?
It's 11:30.
Oh, boy. Yep.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up. I just looked at your watch. I was like,
oh, yeah.
Is that 11:30?
Yeah.
That's not 10:30. What?
Yep.
I mean, my first panic was it was 12:30.
Oh.
And I was like, no, that's 11:30?
Upside down time teller.
Yeah.
Time.
Well, I'm so used to those type of watches that I can read them like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you short, but
no. I
have a feeling we just keep going.
Stuff. We could have kept going forever.
Yeah.
There's many parallel universes in which we did.
And there's probably one where we properly cut it off at an hour.
Yeah. There's even a universe out there where we never met.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
We wore no hats today.
Oh yeah. There is one where we don't do hats.
Yeah.
In fact, and we're not in a college.
No, that's the broken universe.
That one's a sad universe.
Okay. Yeah. We're going on too long. So everybody out there, just remember to what do we want to do? Let's get security.
And
Panda out.
Yeah.